Hallo und willkommen zu Lonestar. Wir spielen Agatha Christie, der ABC Murders.
Poirot, the telephone. It must be Jap.
Jetzt klingelt das Telefon, wie schön. Dann gehen wir doch mal ran.
I have some news from Churston. Bad news, I'm afraid. Sir Carmichael Clarke was murdered while out on his evening walk.
Sir Carmichael Clarke. The name is familiar to me.
He was a famous throat specialist, one of the best in London. A wealthy man, he retired to Comeside, a beautiful house by the sea. He collected antiques.
Are you going there?
Yes, let's meet on the train.
Nach Churston.
The victim is called Sir Carmichael Clarke, one of the best throat specialists in London. The body was still warm when we found it. If we'd been warned earlier, we definitely could have saved him.
It appears that the murderer made a mistake when he wrote his letter.
A mistake? Lucky for him.
And what if he did it on purpose?
No. He's defined his madcap rules and he's sticking to them. It's a matter of pride for him. Shall we go up to the house, Poirot?
You go, my friends. I will come soon.
Na, das glauben wir aber nicht. Wer glaubt denn, dass der da einen Fehler gemacht hat?
This place is very calming.
Ist egal. Picturesque rock. Wildflowers.
The
Rabbit
site
hole.
is exceptional. It is easy to imagine that Sir Carmichael used to enjoy stopping here every evening. The body is just in front of a bush. One of the only bushes in the surrounding area.
Da drüben ist noch einer, ich sehe ihn. Naja, ich glaube, wir fangen diesmal vielleicht doch mal mit der Leiche an. ABC Timetable.
An ABC guide. The murderer's customary signature, covered in blood this time. Sir Carmichael's throat was cut. It's a clean incision, a professional murder.
Naja, aber da gleich von einem professionellen Mord zu
The
sprechen.
gravel on the path has been sprayed with blood that covers a conical-shaped area, which starts at the body and becomes wider as it moves further from the bush.
Der hat Handschuhe an, das ist ein bisschen seltsam.
Apart from the wound to the throat, the body is untouched. No cuts, no bruises. Jap has emptied the victim's pockets and has laid out their contents on this piece of wax cloth.
Schlüssel.
It is pointless. An oriental dragon. It's an old piece, much older than the pocket watch on which it was fastened.
Year of the Dragon.
A signet ring, very probably with the Clarke family's coat of arms.
Jägermeister? Ein paar Pfund.
Nothing appears to be missing from this wallet.
Was gibt's hier noch? 70 Crime Scene. Ja, da sind wir gerade dabei. Ah, das haben wir doch schon angeschaut hier.
The vegetation behind the bush has been trampled. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
What was Sir Carmichael's position when he was killed? There's a wound with a clear outline. The zone soiled with blood covers a conical shaped area which extends away from the bush. The body was still warm. Sir Carmichael was wearing a signet ring bearing the Clarke family's coat of arms when he was found. The body was found in front of the only bush in the surrounding area. Ja, aber das passt jetzt nicht. Body was still warm. Dann nehmen wir die clear outline. Sir Carmichael had his back to the bush.
Sir Carmichael had his back to the bush when the killer cut the throat from behind. A fatal blow that sprayed blood over a range of more than 1 meter. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
Did Sir Carmichael see his murderer? Nee. Trampled behind the bush. Und vielleicht eine Wunde. Sir Carmichael died without seeing who struck him.
Have you finished, Poirot?
Chief Inspector, many questions remain unanswered, but I am certain of one thing.
The killer is an opportunist. The murder was carefully planned. Keine Ahnung.
The killer is a daring opportunist. He met Sir Carmichael at nightfall on this deserted path and took advantage of the situation.
Impossible. You forget the trampled grass behind the bush.
Ah, c'est vrai. It proved that he was waiting for his victim.
Ja und?
Quite right. He must have known Sir Carmichael's movements well to plan such an attack.
Ach komm, bitte. Na gut, da haben wir wohl versagt. Theft could be the motive. Das wissen wir, dass es nicht ist. Aber very violent. Ein Schnitt. Weiß ich, ist es... Ja.
The murderer struck with terrible savagery.
Yes, blood flowed. It's the first time he's attacked a man. He armed himself accordingly.
Have you spoken to the victim's family, Chief Inspector?
I've spoken to the brother, Franklin Clarke. I didn't get much out of him. He's yours. I must get the body removed.
Question the victim's brother. Naja, aber wenn man jetzt mal hier sich schnell hinter den Busch stellt, weil man sieht, dass der hier gerade ist, dann ist es doch genauso ein Opportunist. Das andere war doch auch so. Er sagt da so, ja komm, ich will ein paar Zigaretten und haut dir den Kopf ein. Das klingt doch alles eher nicht so nach einer tollen Planung. Hm? Naja, von mir aus.
To be honest, this inspector seems rather obtuse. I'm counting on your friend Poirot to catch my brother's murderer. Ah, here he is now. Please, Mr. Poirot. Mr. Poirot, this is my brother's secretary, Miss Thora Gray.
Pleased to meet you, Mr. Poirot. Would you like some tea?
No, thank you, mademoiselle. I find it hard to digest.
Echt jetzt? Hm. Hier würden wir uns gerne mal ein bisschen umschauen.
It is not the right time. There is something very viril about him.
Well-fasten necktie. Broad shoulders.
There is something very viril about him.
Tanned complexion.
Thinking Clarke is an adventurer, the sort of man that women like. There is something elegant about her.
Das ist das Zeichen von dem Ring auch. Na, die wird sich gleich beschweren. Understated Make-up.
She has
Well
good
tailored.
taste, except perhaps in her choice of jewelry.
Ja, das ist irgendwie zu groß, ne?
Please excuse me, I have to take care of Lady Clarke.
Aber wir wollen noch mit dir sprechen dann.
My brother's wife is gravely ill. You will probably want to question her, but I fear that it won't be possible today.
Accuse him of preventing Lady Clarke from speaking. Insist, be understanding.
Of course, I understand. Someone set a trap for your brother. Who was familiar with his habits?
Everybody knew he took his evening walk at 8:30, and that he always followed the same path.
Everybody gleich. Point out that Sora is a suspect. Ask if the villagers knew. Point out that Franklin is a suspect.
And did people of the village know Sir Carmichael's habits?
I don't know. It's possible.
What were you doing last night?
After dinner, I went to my bedroom. At 11 in the evening, the telephone rang. It was the police. I went to look for my brother.
Ask if it was a dark night. Ask what his favorite book is.
Was it a dark night?
It was a new moon. I took a lantern.
So it was you who found the body.
Yes, along with the gardener.
Have you seen any strangers around the house recently?
No. As far as I know, nobody has been near the house.
Miss Clarke.
Oh, Lady Clarke must have fallen from her chair. I have to help Miss Grey get her up.
Hastings, while our host is gone, let's examine the drawing room.
But, Poirot, a gentleman shouldn't...
I take full responsibility. All you have to do is to leave the drawing room door ajar and let me know if anyone is coming.
Da hinten ist wieder so ein Drache.
Comside's private collection, purchases since 1920. The catalogue for Sir Carmichael Clarke's collection. A turtle. A dragon.
This is very strange.
A tiger. A crane? It is an emperor. His place at the center of the table is probably symbolic. Dragon, dragon, dragon. Sir Carmichael showed himself to be very consistent in his collection's theme.
Ja, sehr seltsam.
The cardinal points. This book could maybe help me. Each cardinal point is associated with one animal and one color. In the middle sits the imperial dragon, and out of respect, all the others are turned towards him.
Rot, weiß, blau und schwarz.
Turtle, the dragon, the crane and the tiger. I think I've already seen this motif somewhere.
Ja, haben wir. Die schauen ihn alle an, hat's geheißen. Aber bei der Farbe... Was war da? Rot ist... Oben. Da oben. Rot. Unten müssen wir noch schwarz hinbekommen. Ach Mist. Die müssen wir auch noch drehen. Ja, da müssen wir jetzt nochmal ins Buch schauen. Wie rum die waren. Ob der Kranich auf der Seite war oder auf der anderen.
Position of each motif resembles that of those on the table. Position of each motif resembles that of those on the table.
Ja.
I think I heard a bang. Could it be this cupboard? This is interesting.
Da fehlt ein Messer.
These daggers are only ceremonial weapons. I do not think that the crime weapon is here.
Ja, vor allen Dingen, weil hier eins fehlt. Aber wir müssen es wieder umdrehen.
Ernest Logan, MD, Brighton Cancer Institute, 201 Dusk Road, Brighton, Sussex. To Sir Carmichael Clarke, MD, Comsite, Churston, Devon. Brighton, 1935, January the 5th. As a man of science, I owe it to you to be completely frank. Lady Clarke, your wife is suffering from a generalized terminal cancer. I confess I didn't suspect anything like that during the first exams. But with the test results I have received today, there is unfortunately no place for doubt. I estimate that Lady Clarke's life expectancy is no more than 1 year. Hospitalization would not help in her case, so I advise you to keep her at home and provide her with as much morphine as required to ease her last moments. Yours sincerely, Ernest Logan.
Die Frau ist also todkrank und braucht Drogen.
Here's Miss Grey.
Ach, wir wollten noch was anderes anschauen.
Sorry to keep you waiting.
Die Tür
Lady
ist jetzt übrigens
Clarke's
noch offen
condition
von dem
requires
Schrank.
regular care. I believe you want to ask me a few questions.
Indeed, mademoiselle.
Wir haben nicht alles angucken können, was wir angucken
This
wollten.
porcelain is remarkable. Is it old?
It's about 3 centuries old, I believe. Wait, let me find the reference.
She appears to be very flustered.
Bright eyes. Partial removed lipstick.
She's
Quick
unable
breath.
to hide her emotion, and her makeup has been disturbed. I think that this young woman has just been kissed.
Aha, bei dem alten Sack da oder was?
Here? Teapot with black dragon, Gangshi period, end of the 17th century. It is a rare piece with unusual colours.
You have a good knowledge of art history.
Acquired while working with Sir Carmichael. I used to help him manage his collection and choose his new acquisitions.
Ask if he gave her gifts. Ask if she was embarrassed to be at the service of an elderly man. Ask what her relationship was with her employer.
Did you have a good relationship with your employer?
He treated me well, and I am sorry for his death.
Have you
Melancholic.
seen any strangers hanging around in the past few days?
No. Nobody has been near Comside.
Ask where she was at the time of the crime. Ask her for the version of the facts.
Tell me what happened last night.
After dinner? Well, I did some sewing, and then I went to bed. I was woken by the telephone at 11. I heard Franklin Clarke speaking with the gardener. They left with some lanterns, and they found the body.
Ask what she thinks about Franklin. Ask for the reason for her aversion to Franklin. Ask if she was in a relationship with Franklin. Nee, das Relationship, wenn sie gerade geküsst hat, dann hat sie den mit dem anderen. Oder?
What are your feelings about Franklin Clarke?
What an odd question. Of course I think he's a good man. He's energetic, nice, very sociable.
Oder war das der andere? Ja, dann, ich wollte eigentlich den anderen...
Miss Gray,
ich hab gedacht,
if
es
I
wäre
may
der
be so
Tote
bold,
gewesen.
please do not take offense. My friend has rather unusual methods, but all he wants is to find the murderer.
Yes, I understand. I must rest. Please excuse me.
Das haben wir jetzt schlecht gemacht.
Earlier, you asked me to watch the living room door for you. I don't wish to be indiscreet, but sometimes a gentleman stumbles upon a secret without intending to.
That is sometimes the case.
And I saw Franklin Clarke kissing Miss Gray
Jetzt
at
kommt
the
der
foot of the
Hinweis.
stairs.
Do you think this is a common occurrence?
No, I saw emotion, intensity. I think it was their first kiss.
Well done, mon ami. Well spotted.
However, I don't think I completely understand this business. Why did Sir Carmichael not defend himself? He appeared to have been active and strong.
The murderer did not give him a chance. Let us try and reconstruct the scene.
Reconstruction.
Sir Clarke is taking his customary walk. Our killer is hiding behind a bush.
Wait.
The old man walks quietly along the gravel path.
Admire Carmichael? Hä? Ist es schon die richtige Stelle?
Sir Clarke sees a shadow.
Nee. Wieso soll
No,
er sich jetzt
Sir
umdrehen?
Clarke was attacked by surprise. He could not see his assailant. Let us think again, mon cher.
Failure. Eieiei.
Sir Clarke is taking his customary walk. Our killer is hiding behind a bush. The old man walks quietly along the gravel path.
Ich glaube, ich weiß immer nicht, was diese kurzen Worte bedeuten sollen. Admire. Soll er ihn jetzt admiren oder soll der irgendwas admiren?
Then he turns towards the sea to gaze at it.
Attack from the left, from the right? Woher soll ich das jetzt wissen? Von wo ist denn die Sonne?
The killer leaves his hiding place on the right-hand side. He approaches silently over the grass. Then he throws himself on his prey and cuts the poor man's throat. He then lays down the ABC before leaving. Everything appears to match the crime scene, mon cher Hastings. That is exactly what happened.
Ja, ich glaube, ein ganzer Satz wäre da besser gewesen, um da zu sagen, was man eigentlich glaubt, was passiert ist.
Oh, just a minute. I'm getting dressed.
A, B, C.
Mr. Kirst, have you recently returned from Churston?
Yes. Indeed I have.
Have you seen the papers? And to think that you might have rubbed shoulders with the killer. Imagine that. Mr. Kirst, are you all right? You don't seem well.
My apologies. My throat is burning and my head feels heavy. It's ever since the war, you know. Since my injury, my head has never been the same.
Ooh.
Poirot, it's a pleasure to be with you again after all these years. I looked for a gift to thank you, and I found this propelling pencil.
An authentic collector's item. You spoil me, mon ami.
And you more so by sharing investigations.
Do not underestimate the help you are to me, Hastings. Intellect is not everything. There is also goodwill, and you are not short of that. Later, I will ask you to help me tidy up the room and bring some chairs. Our guest will be here soon.
Ah, is Thora Grey coming?
Naturally. She is a fascinating young woman, n'est-ce pas?
Oh, come on, Poirot. I'm a married man. Miss Grey has already been courted by Franklin Clarke. Poirot, our guests will be here soon. We must prepare ourselves.
I should take advantage of the silence to examine them.
You've just obtained a modifiable object. Use it, select the object in your inventory, and click on the icon. It is only available in a modification if a modification is possible. A magnificent pen. Eine Feder. Hastings will understand that I had to take this gift apart to help the investigation. A new spring. Observe everybody. Ja, würde ich ja gerne, aber... Ich kann die ja gar nicht angucken, egal was ich mache. Klappt alles gar nicht. Vielleicht lade ich hier nochmal das Spiel neu. Kann es jetzt sein, dass hier lauter Bugs auftreten oder kapiere ich es einfach nicht? Wir sehen uns gleich wieder an der gleichen Stelle. Ich finde es ein bisschen überraschend, dass jetzt plötzlich alle da sind hier. Ich meine, was wollen wir denn mit denen? Ah. War das vorhin die ganze Zeit schon so und ich habe es nur nicht gesehen? Ich darf das Ding nicht aufklappen.
The song says, "Sometimes I love a blonde who comes from Eden by way of Sweden. But I am not sure that this blonde is an angel." The song says, sometimes I love a brunette, sometimes I love a blonde. That's what the song says.
This is strange.
Donald is always on edge.
Tense hands. Dark circles.
Donald
Shaving
Fraser is
cut.
very nervous at the moment, even if he's trying hard to control himself.
Habe ich irgendwas verpasst? Warum sind denn jetzt alle hier da, mit denen wir schon mal gesprochen haben?
She appears to have taken more care with her appearance than the last time.
Earring. Necklace.
She's
Looking
looking
at
at Mr.
Donald.
Fraser out of the corner of her eye.
Naja,
Did she make
Corner.
herself beautiful for him? The song says,
Das hatten wir schon. Observe everybody. Achso, das müssen wir wieder einklappen.
Franklin Clarke always seems at ease, regardless of where he is. Something that's unique to people who travel. I ought to concentrate on my guests. I wish to thank you all for coming. I wanted to bring everyone close to the victims here in order to unmask the murderer.
Echt? Wir wissen jetzt schon
Get to
alles?
the point, Mr. Poirot. What do you want from us?
Ask Megan the reason for his meeting. Tell Megan not to be in such a hurry.
Megan, dear girl, please be patient.
Mr. Poirot, how dare you address me by my first name?
Please excuse me, mademoiselle. What I ask is that you search your memories. The murderer must have left some trace.
Yes, he must have prepared his crimes very carefully.
Tout à fait. He did not get to Bexhill at midnight in order to strangle a young girl whose name by chance starts with P.
Must we go into that?
Agree that the subject creates a feeling of discomfort. Tell Donald to get a grip on himself.
No, of course. Not if it makes you uncomfortable.
Come on, Mr. Poirot. I imagine we all feel terribly uncomfortable about these murders.
It's true. We've to catch the killer, not be spared the gory details.
Irgendwas habe
Mr.
ich hier gerade nicht
Fraser, please get a
kapiert.
grip on yourself.
Well, I want to help you, but I don't remember anything else. Nothing I haven't already said.
And you, Mademoiselle Barnard, did your sister say she was seeing another man?
She never would have told me.
Ask Megan why Betty didn't say anything. Urged Megan. Ja, aber didn't say anything?
Allons, surely sisters have no secrets.
She never spoke about any of that to me. Do you believe me or do I have to repeat myself? Betty knew I didn't approve of her behaviour. Her flirting was spoiling any chance she might have had.
Tell me, mademoiselle, what did you talk about with your sister?
Silly things. Her new dress. She wanted a pair of black stockings to go with it. Mother bought her a brand new pair. The day it happened, she was crying. And to think that Betty never even wore them. Poor Mummy.
Das hatten wir schon.
Your sister used to sing, I believe. Did she ever perform in public?
She dreamt about it, but she had a very bad cough. It troubled her greatly. She had to cancel auditions and miss lots of opportunities. A pity.
Yes, she sang well, but that doesn't tell us much about the murderer.
Qui sait? In any case, we now have enough information to draw up a relatively precise psychological profile.
Echt jetzt?
Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
Is the killer clever? Announcing. Killed when the street was packed with people. Never forgets to leave his intriguing signature behind. Without the ABC, might have suspected Miss Escher and Mrs. Fraser. Maybe the murderer likes trains? Indeed. Let us look again at this murder, if you please. You will see that the murder carried out is perfection. Huh? Clever. Is the killer for sure of himself? Ja. Dann ist es vielleicht das erste. Tut es immer ankündigen. Nee. Okay, dann ist es das hier. Rather bold. Hm? Self-confident. Is the killer a seducer? Ja, das hatten wir schon. The man seduced Betty before taking her to the beach, where he strangled her. Does the killer like trains? Likes trains. Is the killer impulsive? Nee, er tut das alles vorbereiten. Cold. Is the killer generous? Was meint er damit? Very generous.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we can now surmise without too much risk of error that our adversary is calculative, sure of himself, a seducer, of outstanding intelligence, that he has plenty of self-control, and that he likes railways. It's a good start. Other meetings may be necessary. I hope that you will be able to come back again.
Well, it's just that...
Push Mary so that she helps. Ask Mary what is bothering her. Point out that she is short of money for the train.
Is something bothering you, Mary?
Well, Mr. Poirot, you see, I don't know if I can come to London just like that.
It's normal that people helping with this inquiry should be reimbursed. Starting with you, Miss Drower. Please allow me to pay for your train tickets.
Oh, sir, I cannot accept.
But you must. Mademoiselle, I may not be rich, but my brother left a fortune which will be mine.
Mr. Clarke, that's very generous of you.
Well, someone has to foot the bill. Mr. Poirot, would it be possible for you to come back to Devon? Lady Clarke has expressed a wish to see you. We'll adjust her medicine so she'll not be too drowsy.
But of course, I shall come the day after tomorrow if it is convenient. Thank you all for coming. We will meet again soon.
Ja, ich muss ehrlich sagen, es war sehr seltsam, dieses Treffen. Warum denn das?
Really?
Hastings, I believe now we have everything we need to find a common point between the victims. Now it is time for us to use our grey matter.
The grey matter? Hat auch grey
Let
cells
us now
gesagt.
try and get our brain cells to work.
What do the victims have in common? Betty was seeing other men as well as Donald. Body was still warm. Betty had a photo of her and Donald. First victim was called Escher. Escher took a cough medicine. Mrs. Escher had a violent husband. Donald was a violent man. Betty had problems with her voice. Sir Carmichael Clarke was a famous retired doctor. Sir Carmichael Clarke was close to Zora Grey. Nehmen wir Doktor. Ja, wohl, es passt doch irgendwie alles nicht. Doktor. Dann nehmen wir die Cough Medicine und Betty had problems with her voice. All the victims suffered from throat afflictions.
The first two victims suffered from bad throat, and that was precisely the specialty of the third victim, Dr. Clarke.
We have a lead.
It would pay to take a closer look at the medical records of Dr. Clarke's patients.
We'll do so during our next visit to Churston.
I will do it myself, mon ami. You must remain in London just in case ABC sends us another letter.
Very well, as you wish. Thank you for coming, Mr. Poirot. Lady Clarke is waiting for you in her bedroom on the first floor. Please excuse me, I cannot stay for the interview. I've to take Miss Grey to the station to see our lawyer in Torquay.
Ask if Sora is leaving her job. Ask if Sora is going on holiday.
Are you leaving Churston for good?
Miss Grey very kindly stayed with me to settle my brother's affairs, but naturally she prefers to find a position in London.
Ah, très bien.
I'll be absent all morning, Mr. Poirot, but the nurse is coming soon. She's to ensure that the dose of medicine doesn't make our patient drowsy.
Thank you, Mr. Clarke. Have a nice trip, mademoiselle.
Tja, okay, das war jetzt komplizierter als gedacht. Und ich hatte eigentlich nicht so ganz verstanden, warum die sich überhaupt getroffen haben, um sich da zu besprechen. Das kam so ein bisschen überraschend. Habe ich da irgendwas verpasst? Seltsam. Ja, okay, dass sie alles da mit der Stimme irgendwas zu tun hatten, dass ein Doktor war, die anderen haben irgendwie Probleme gehabt und haben deswegen Cough Medicine und sowas genommen. Ah ja, gut, da habe ich ein bisschen gebraucht, aber haben wir ja noch gefunden. Jetzt können wir wohl mit der Kranken sprechen. Wir wissen noch gar nicht, wie uns das irgendwie weiterbringen soll. Aber ich würde sagen, das schauen wir auch gar nicht mehr heute. Machen diese Stelle lieber erstmal ein kleines Päuschen. Und ich hoffe, es hat euch gefallen und wir sehen uns das nächste Mal.